Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of the Cost of Carry podcast. Before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. To rent or buy, owning your own property is normally very high up on the list of things people want to achieve in their life. However, depending on your financial goals and what stage of life you're at, what you hope to achieve with property will likely differ quite considerably. For first home buyers, the biggest question is usually whether to rent or buy. Advantages of buying. Capital gains. The most obvious advantage of buying a property is that you own it and benefit from the capital gain on the property, should its value increase. However, you also have to pay all the costs such as council and water rates and ongoing maintenance. You control it. When you own a property, you get to do anything you want to it. A common complaint from renters is that they aren't even allowed to put up a picture hook. That's not an issue if you buy a house. Add value. If you own a property, you're able to add value to it and manufacture equity in certain ways. The most common strategy for this is to do a small renovation or even a subdivision. More affordable. In a lot of cases, you will find it is more cost-effective to buy than rent in the current environment, thanks to record low interest rates. If you're living in an area where you can pay less on your mortgage than you would renting, then the incentive is certainly there to go out and buy. Advantages of renting. Flexibility. One of the greatest benefits renters enjoy is flexibility. Many people who choose to rent do so because they're able to rent in highly desirable locations, like the inner city that offers a great lifestyle and amenity. For many of these high-demand locations, purchasing a property can be very expensive and outside the budget. Low fixed costs. Costs are usually less of a burden for renters as the landlord is generally required to pay many of the ongoing costs of the property, including strata fees, water and council rates, and maintenance. Cash flow. Renting can allow you to free up more cash, so you can put it into other ventures. If you're trying to start a business or you want to spend your money on things like travel, then renting can be advantageous. Rentvesting. Over the past few years, there has been a growing push from property investors in Australia to continue renting and purchasing an investment property instead of a home to live in. This is a way you can get the best of both worlds. You can live in a great location and still invest in property elsewhere. Rentvesting is increasingly common in places like Sydney and Melbourne, where house prices are higher. And that concludes this episode of the Cost of Carry podcast. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next episode.